Good evening, Ruskin enjoyers. Hope you're right, 'cause it's time for the profit review. Last week we discussed the July 4 swipe Rustore for 2025, and that means today we're here to talk about July 10, 2025. So sit back, relax. I'm going to start yapping. Right. So, what was my initial reaction when I first saw this Rustore? This was a very interesting looking large box right here. I do remember when I did my Rust Workshop skin checks, I accidentally forgot about this. But to see it being accepted, immediately speculation was just going wild. We saw this being accepted, and we were looking at it, we were questioning it, and we thought, is that an attempt for a storage collection? So we just kept assuming, wondering, guessing. I've got to remind all of you, right? When we first saw this, there was no inclination that this was an attempt for a storage collection. But of course, we were theorising, praying, hoping. We had to wait and see if there was going to be a collection continuation over the course of the weekend. It looked nice. It had a lot of support behind it. It honestly looked like a pretty cool looking skin. Even if it was just all by itself, it still looked to be pretty interesting. We've got a lot to talk about that, don't you worry. So, okay, the potential to see a brand new storage collection, the first one in about 3 years. Okay, that's interesting. What? The Neon collection now has fridges? Yeah, okay, well, surely that's not the only one, right? And it wasn't, because the first one to be submitted was actually a berries fridge. And then the week after that, at the same time, we saw a Neon meat fridge and a veggies fridge. So technically speaking, at this specific point, we actually saw 3 Neon fridges. And of course, we're immediately expecting, oh, okay then. So that's another new addition to the Neon storage collection. If you can recall, large boxes, then small boxes, then it was lockers, then it was garage doors, and now, to a surprise, fridges. Okay. But I also questioned, do we really need a set of fridges? And are people honestly going to put all their meat in one fridge and potentially all their veggies in one fridge, all their berries in one fridge? That's all we saw at that point. So, okay. It was interesting, but I did question that quite a lot. So, okay, fair enough. Pretty interesting. Nice to see more of the Neon storage collection. Oh, look, a hammer skin. Huh. Senor Tomato again. Well, that's proven to be pretty successful this year in 2025. Okay, then. But by default, hammer skin, I mean, just saying, they tend to be very, very reliable. We don't see that many of them being accepted. That's instantly making me think, okay then, looking pretty cool. Now, one thing I didn't talk about immediately was the fact that we saw these pairs of boots. And you might sit there and say, okay, what's so special? Well, this actually had been waiting for quite some time. Up to this point, up to this Rustore, for the past few weeks, we have been getting one extra late pick being accepted. That being a skin that's been in the workshop for a good several months, up to a year or more, finally been accepted. And it's a pair of boots. It completed the Black Diamond collection, all the clothing armor. We finally had a full proper collection. So, okay, that's pretty cool. And we did see a bit of reaction when that was being accepted. So, okay, maybe we might be seeing more of this potentially, this collection. I wonder if we're going to see any more boots. So anyway, overall, things were looking pretty interesting. But I haven't even got to one of the most important things. The first ever instance of a skin of the month, or rather an item of the month, a focused item. I've said this a little bit awkward, but what I'm trying to say is, this is where the initiative of the official Ruskin Making Discord, where it got first started. Don't know why I'm quoting it, but quite literally it is the official Ruskin Making Discord, in which, from here and now, every single month a certain item will be chosen, and that is encouraged that people make, the skin creators make a lot more skins for them. Basically, all the chosen items are items that don't get that many skins anymore, don't get that many acceptances. Well, of course, with the encouragement to make a whole bunch of them, perhaps we'll see a whole lot more of them being accepted. This being the first salvaged Icepick skin to be accepted in 8 years. And quite a lot of people, I remember this, on the day that we saw this rust rotation, so many people mistook and misassumed that this was the first ever salvaged Icepick skin. No, we had several before, but 8 years before, and they're all kind of pricey. Okay, so maybe a lot of people might jump onto that, but could that potentially cause some issues, the things I just mentioned? Well, we'll get to that, don't you worry. So, looking at all these skins, whilst I haven't talked about every single one of them, I questioned what potentially would be the best investment for the week, like I do with every single Rust store. And the very first thing I talk about is that large box. The speculation, the guessing, the pondering, the wondering, the wishing, the dreaming. Are we actually going to see another storage collection in Rust after about 3 years? The previous one being the graffiti storage collection, and of course before that scientific storage, and before that neon storage collection. It had been a long time. There was tons of hype. I just couldn't help but assume that, like, surely, maybe, possibly, but I have to bring this up to you. Over the course of many years up to this point, there have been about like 100 different attempts for a brand new storage collection. Skin creators just kept trying and trying and trying and trying, but every single one of them, they were all denied, or rather just not accepted. So okay then, I'm interested, I'm hyped up, but maybe it's just a dream, and that's it. But still, it was the most interesting skin out of everything, so okay, fair enough. Now with the Neon Meat Fridge, that was the second skin I was thinking of. Honestly, I actually could see it working out quite alright. I was under the assumption that we're going to get a few more of these fridge skins being accepted, but only the first one was going to perform nicely, and that's because I remembered how the lockers performed from the previous year. When we got the additional skins for the Neon collection, the first locker, which was the blue one, the full kit locker, that was the only one that was in the positive, whilst the two extra ones that appeared after it, the Tier 2 and the Hazmat, they performed pretty badly. They went down in price pretty quickly. But the first locker, because it was the first one, that got a lot of extra interest after the new ones appeared. So I was like, well, you know what? This Neon Meat Fridge, that very likely will be doing quite alright. I just worry about all the other fridges that potentially get accepted afterwards. And again, we did bring up the point of, well, maybe we only see one fridge and that's it. Maybe Face Punch only wanted the meat fridge. We had to wait and see if there's going to be any more skins being produced over the course of the weekend. Now looking at the remaining skins, if I could just quickly remind myself, going back to the past, look at all that hair. Anyway, next skin I talked about, Senor Tomato Hammer. As I said, hammer skins tend to be very, very reliable. If I quickly hop over to here and just look at all the previous skins that we've had accepted, every single one of them is in the positive. They are reliable, and we just don't get that many of them being accepted. Like, we've got a Christmas skin right here. Most recent Christmas, I should clarify. Rarely do you see recent Christmas skins staying in the positive, so just goes to show people do appreciate a good hammer skin. The next skin I talked about was the Impact Protocol Salvaged Icepick. I meant in the vein of, I don't know how many salvaged Icepick skins are going to be accepted. This was all brand new to us. The chosen item of the month to be focused, salvaged Icepick. But how many skins were we likely going to be seeing accepted over the course of the whole month? Because it is technically the second week. Well, I was definitely kind of sitting in that position, but I also remembered, like, we've been in a very similar position before. When we saw the first ever backpack skins being accepted, I warned everybody, be careful, I bet you anything, the first two will sell a little bit too much. But as we see more and more backpack skins being accepted afterwards, those first two won't be so special anymore, and chances are they will drop off pretty badly due to the insane amount of sales. And that's exactly what happened. So I was getting a little bit cautious. I was seeing a lot of very interesting salvaged Icepick skins being submitted to the workshop. Admittedly, I want to be truthful with you, I saw some very cool creative designs. I still remember the flamingo. But this right here, it seemed like a very tame, soft, not too crazy, not too mad, not too wild type of design. It was very plain. Got nothing against, he got the skin accepted, and it did sell quite a lot. Oh yeah, we'll be talking about that in a bit. But it just kind of came across as a very, very safe option. Could we see something the next week, the week after that, the week after that, the week after that, the week after that, which is going to stand out so much more compared to that? And if you need reminding, here's some of the salvaged Icepick skins we've seen over the past couple of years. And if I was to look at most recent submissions, whilst we got some funny odd ones, the actual nice submissions from skin creators that actively get skins accepted every now and then, we saw some very, very cool ones. Oh yes, indeed we did. Oh yes, indeed we did. So I had to kind of be in a position of there might be something else that might take away all the attention from it. Got to be careful. I brought up the Black Diamond boots. Okay, Black Diamond collection. That worked out very nicely as time went on. Never saw the boots, but didn't matter. all the clothing and armour went up in price ever so nicely as we went through post-Christmas 2025. That all appeared later at the end of 2024. I think it was the summer and then towards the end. But after that, very nice post-Christmas, all of it, it just went up in price and it stayed perfectly fine afterwards. But the boots appearing definitely gave it an extra bit of attention. Prices did go up a bit. I thought, you know what? So as long as this sells reasonably similar to the amount of sales we saw with the previous clothing armor skins, that should be a-okay. Should be perfectly fine. So, okay, fair enough. Next thing I brought up was the Deep Ruby Rock. Pretty interesting design, but I know the Deep Ruby collection isn't exactly super in demand. It was a perfectly fine purple shiny rock, but I just couldn't help but assume it's still probably going to go down below its rust or price. Maybe a Sheerlacker sales might help it out. I remember when I was doing the predictions, if I could just quickly switch back over to here, it wasn't the top selling skin. I should also remind you, at this specific time, SEMM wasn't working. So, yeah, just quickly remind all of you about that. So that's why I'm staring at the Rustore page. But back then, Deep Ruby Rock wasn't really sent that much. I was kind of hoping it could probably have a nice potential rise in price. But will we actually going to see any more Deep Ruby skins being accepted after it? Clothing and armor, more specifically. So, okay, fair enough. Interesting, but this year we had seen quite a lot of rock skins as well. Maybe it won't be as interesting to stand out. Nuke Vibe Sheet Metal Door, very cool looking design, much like the Garage Door. But the Garage Door, that went down in price pretty bad. Yes, it did. And with Sheet Metal Doors, we see just as many Sheet Metal Doors being accepted as Garage Doors. Similar problems, far too many of them, far too many options. And unfortunately, half of them to stand out, half of them to maintain their price. It's a struggle. So, okay. Funerary Backpack. This was a very strange, interesting skin to be accepted. It was the first ever submission from this brand new skin creator, Mr. MA1. And I looked at it and I thought, you know what? With all due respect, looks a bit goofy, a bit strange, but definitely unique. Definitely unique compared to what we normally see. I even thought, you know what? It's a little bit early for Halloween, isn't it? Skulls all stuck in like the tar of this design. I didn't really see much of it. I wasn't really convinced. Could I be wrong? And then we had this AK-47 over here. It was fine. Cool wasp design. Looked pretty sweet, but, you know, around this point, we had a lot of Twitch drop AK-47s being given away for free, and I don't think people were really looking for a brand new AK at this specific point. It was fine. It was a collection continuation, if I can recall, from the MP5. Yep, we saw the Termite MP5 being accepted. This was a sequel, but even that MP5 wasn't doing very well either. So, yeah, kind of not 100% confident. Like most AK-47s, I thought it was going to go down by quite a bit. So, okay, fair enough. So, how's the first 24 hours of sales? And if I could just quickly switch over to here and remind you that, again, SEMM wasn't working. Top selling skin after 26 hours. Unfortunately, I was a little bit late. Yes, 26 hours. Large box had just under 14,000 subscribers. Followed by the Icepick, 12,600. Wow, okay. A lot of people jumping onto the Icepick. But again, I have to remind you, a lot of people assumed that was like the first ever skin. They didn't realise we had plenty more before. But it had been such a long time. Yeah, so a lot of people kind of probably buying one because they wanted one. All right, cool. Fridge is doing 10,000 subscribers. Okay. All right, maybe people do want a meat fridge. Would we see even more success if we saw more skins being accepted? The veggies and the berries. Okay. Hammer was selling quite respectfully at 8,500 subscribers. Not the top selling skin, but still reasonably in demand. So, okay. Shooting the Door had 7k. Boots had 5,100, which was looking very interesting because it wasn't selling that much. The boots very much looked like they were going to sell less compared to the hoodie and pants, the tier 2 and the tier 3, including the gloves. So, okay, that was looking pretty interesting. Backpack only had 5,300 subscribers, and it's not too surprising to see the AK-47 only had 3,000. So, all right, overall, the sales were looking very interesting. So, what happened over the course of the next few days? What skins did we see appear in the workshop? What prices did we suggest for all the skins when we did the abnormals? With SINOTYPE firearms, we saw SINOTYPE ammo. Speculation was going wild. The sales, close to 30,000 subscribers. Clearly a lot of people liked it. Clearly a lot of people wanted it. But I have to really get the point across. It was pretty obvious a lot of people were assuming that we're going to see a storage collection with this. And I was hyped up again. I had to talk about that. I was crossing my fingers. I was hoping that would see more. Like, we weren't 100% convinced the skin creator that made it was like originally wanting to make a storage collection. Maybe we kind of like pushed the idea onto him and he thought, oh, why not? We don't know. But we were definitely hyped. Savage Icepick right there, 24,000 subscribers. Oh yeah, I guess a lot of people are very eager for a Salvaged Icepick skin. Okay, fair enough. Neon Meat Fridge actually did quite well. 19,000 subscribers. Is that too much for a fridge? Don't forget, up to this point, we had seen quite a lot of fridge skins being accepted this year in 2025, so okay, fair enough. Hammer had 18,000 subscribers. Oh, okay, well, that's quite a lot. But Senor Tomato has been pretty tricky this year. Some of those skins have been performing quite nicely. Maybe that hammer would also do quite nicely as well. Okay, fair enough. So overall, things were looking interesting. But what are the prices we suggested? So with the SINOTYPE firearms, with strong speculation, with lots of hope, I thought, you know what, I'm going in strong. I offered $1.80 to $2.20. I thought, you know what, just looking at this, let's go for it. If it doesn't get the collection continuation the next day or the week after, all right, we could just remove our orders. That's fine. But honestly, still, independently of its design, it looked cool. So, all right, we'll leave it at that. Impact Protocol Salvaged Icepick, a $2.49 skin, and I thought, you know what? I'm seeing a lot of Salvaged Icepick skins being submitted over the workshop. Like, after we saw the first one to be accepted in a very long time, clearly it got into the Rust skin creators' heads that, oh, hang on a minute, we're actually seeing these being accepted now. And we saw a lot of people jumping on, making a bunch of very cool, very interesting Salvaged Icepick skins. So, thought about it, but yeah, $1 to $1.50. I did point out that I wasn't sure how many Salvaged Icepick skins likely were to be accepted. I brought up the idea that maybe we're just going to see one. Maybe just the one. So, okay, fair enough. I understand why I suggested those prices, but was it correct? We'll talk about that in a bit. Neon Meat Fridge. I suggested $1.50 to $2 for a $2.49 skin. I was sticking with the idea that we were likely going to see the other fridges being accepted, and only that one was going to be in the positive. Now, if I can recall, we did see another fridge being submitted, Neon Pie Fridge. So we have 4 of them readily available at this specific point. Could we see berries being accepted next? Veggies? Pie fridge? Ooh, if we do, maybe that fridge is going to greatly appreciate it, so okay. When it came to the Nuke Vibe Sheep Door, I just didn't trust it. Cool design, but the garage door really wasn't doing that well even after the Sheep Door appeared, so I just thought, you know what, playing it safe. 80 cents to $1.20. For a $2.49 door, yeah, okay, sure. It's not the first time I've suggested something like that, but I really did worry for it. Deep Ruby Rock, I didn't really think it stood out that much. I questioned it a lot. Had just over 10,000 subscribers there, close to 11 if anything. A $2.49 skin, but I thought, you know what, I know not that many people are very pleased with Deep Ruby. Got nothing against the skin creator, but I can't tell you how many times people tell me, I hate Deep Ruby. Okay, cool. Thank you for the information. So, yeah, 80 cents to $1.20 for the rock. Now for the backpack, I'm going to remember this. I thought about it, I looked at it, I didn't really see anything with it. I wasn't a fan. For a $2.49 backpack, I just thought, you know what, playing it safe, 70 cents to $1. Didn't really expect much of it. We'll be talking about that in a bit, don't you worry. Now with the Black Diamond boots, it was a $1.49 skin. I suggested 70 cents to $1.10. Honestly, I thought as time goes on, with the sales it had, it should probably line up quite nicely and work out very nicely with the rest of the set. I should remind you, Black Diamond, all of it was in the positive at this specific point. I thought the boots were perfect addition, lined up nicely with its sales. So yeah, I thought it had a good future. I suggested going pretty strong with it, 70 cents to $1.10. Now for the regular skins, the skins that weren't abnormal, Senor Tomato Hammer. Well, I brought up that hammers don't get accepted that much. I was a bit concerned because this year we'd seen 3, and the year before we had only 2, and we saw one at like the very end of the year. So technically speaking, with about half a year, we saw 4 hammer skins being accepted. So I was getting a little bit concerned, a little bit unsure. So I wanted to just stick with 90 cents to $1.30. Higher than the halfway point, but still kind of playing it a bit safe, so I kind of stuck back a bit. And then the Wasp AK-47, I mean, the sales weren't there. Only 6,000 subscribers, clearly no interest. Didn't trust it. Typical approach with an AK-47, if I don't trust it, if I don't feel confident with it, I suggested 60 cents to 80 cents. And there we go. So, lots of interesting details here. But what was the final outcome for all the skins? How did everything turn out? What is the conclusion? We got a storage collection. SINOTYPE hype was real, and we got plenty of skins after this. But more specifically, with the very next Rust store, we did see the ammo box. But I must point something out to you. Over the course of the night, after we did the abnormal barders, I actually went ahead and I bought 50 of them. I thought, I've got to go for it. Worst case scenario, if I really wanted to, I could just refund them if I wanted to. I don't really do that much, but things were looking interesting. But then, things look a little bit iffy. See, what happened was, the night before we saw the Rust rotation happen, someone unloaded all of their stock to the highest buy orders. Remember, we suggested like $1.70, $1.80 to $2.20, if I can just remind you. Yep. Someone unloaded all their stock at $2.20, around just above $2. So someone got scared, worried, panic sold, and ran away at a loss. But the very next day, we did see the ammo box being accepted, and we were delighted. So this only did 31,000 subscribers. With what happened afterwards, with more and more and more storages being accepted, this at one point was selling for over $30. Now at the moment, it's only $21, $22. I mean, these prices might not be up to date, but that's perfection. Now, one thing I could see after this, and it did happen, the first box is going to be the one that gets appreciated the most, but the ones afterwards, not so much. And evidently that has happened. Now, if you currently own one of these, feel free to comment below. If you bought a bunch of them, feel free to comment below. If you picked up some with buy orders, feel free to comment below. At one point, I had 81 of these. I think I now have 60. I thought, you know what? I could sell about 20 for the money I have. I wouldn't complain. But I didn't sell all of them at 20. I sold 10 at 20, and I sold 10 at 12. But then again, at the end of the day, I made some big, fat profit. I'm not upset. I had a guy unload 31 of those on me. Yeah, I did remove the barter after I only had about 20 left. Kind of regret that, but at the end of the day, I did get a bunch of them thrown at me for a cheaper price. You kind of just have to accept, okay, I did get spoon-fed there, so awesome. I bought 50 of them straight from the Rust store. I got 31 gifted to me. And yeah, I've already technically made a profit out of them. I've got no complaints. No complaints whatsoever. So we do question, when's going to be the best time to sell them? If you really feel the need to sell them, wait till post-Christmas. Wait till January 2026. The first week, let's go through the January force wipe. Let's enjoy lots of people playing, because I'm very much under the impression with the October update next month, we're seeing some weapon changes. Apparently there's going to be some interesting balance changes happening. I'm under the impression there's going to be weapon nerfs and buffs, and well, I think a lot of people are going to be very curious about that, wanting to jump in. But more specifically, in November, I'm definitely expecting a lot of people turning up for the naval update. Lots of, tons of content being introduced. Boat bases in the ocean. Ooh. So, yeah, lots of people will be turning up towards the end of the year. And as we approach the Christmas period, where loads of people are out of school, they're not working as much, plenty of time to play Rust, I'm expecting a ton of people to be playing. Oh yes, oh yes. That will probably rise up in price quite nicely. That'll be the best time to sell your skins, alright? More specifically for that. Impact Protocol Salvaged Icepick. Oh dear, oh dear. So, with all due respect, this was the first instance we had a focused item of the month. After the Salvaged Icepick with the wooden double door, and after that, currently right now, we have the M39. What happened was we saw 3 more skins being accepted after this. It is the cheapest Salvaged Icepick now. We saw gold chains, we saw high quality metal, we saw Ice Salvaged Icepick, and then a little while later, for complete sets 2025, we saw Prototype Icepick. So, for something that used to have hardly any skins, 8 years in the making, or no, 7, got that wrong, sorry about that. Well, technically speaking, 7.5. Yeah, I don't blame a lot of people jumping in and buying one for themselves, but I think a lot of people jumped in and bought excess amounts with the pure intent to sell, and when far too many people do that, we end up with this type of issue. So, yeah. So, other options appeared. Now, we didn't have some insane, crazy, wacky, creative ideas. You got a gold one and a blue one. Okay, that's cool. But I never got my flamingo. I never got my flamingo. Or the crocodile one. That was cool as well. So anyway, it flopped. Sorry to say. So, oh God, I'm all choked up now. I can't get the flamingo out of my head. I have to try and see if I can get like a Twitch drop or something. Anyway, so $1 to $1.50. Unfortunately, it's gone less than that. It did take a while though. Like this did take like a good several weeks to finally get down to this price. It was a slow drop, and yes, I did remove my barter. Did you pick up any of a barter? I did, but yeah, I removed the rest, so I could see problems happening. Oh, lo and behold, we did get a storage, a fridge collection. Technically, it's the Neon Storage Collection, but the Neon Storage Fridge Collection subsidiary. Anyway, we did get more. And if I were to showcase... Oh, wait, hang on a minute. It's got this mixed up. Right, let's go over to take a look at Neon. It says it's part of the meat collection. Oh, SCMM. You need to sort yourself out. Right, so over to here. This should be part of this. Because we got veggies fridge the very next week, and then we got the pies fridge. But we never got berries, which is weird. Anyway, you can clearly see that the meat fridge was in the positive, but look at this. Oh dear. Veggies fridge is slightly down in price. Pies fridge is down by about a quarter of its price. But this right here, when I saw veggies fridge being accepted, this was pushing up to $5 to $6. $5 to $6. At one point, it was looking very, very interesting. But now, well, it has dropped off, but still comfortably in the positive. People appreciate, but as we go through this dreaded autumn fall seasonal dip, can it get lower? I wouldn't be surprised if it does. And with the amount of fridges we've seen so far this year, it is getting a bit worrisome. And we still anticipate Halloween and Christmas. So, oh dear. Yeah. But it did work out initially. You had plenty of time to sell it if you, saw the profits. And did you pick up any? I'd love to see what you did and whatnot. So, yeah. Comment below. Did you pick up any of the Bilder? Did you purchase any? And did you flip them for a sweet, delicious amount of profit? At the end of the day, this did match up to expectation. Maybe I should have offered more money, I suggested $1.50 to $2. I wasn't expecting an immediate collection continuation. I honestly wasn't. But lo and behold, it happened, and that greatly appreciated that. So, okay, fair enough. All good. Senior Tomato Hammer. So, that's comfortably in the positive right now. Get a good look at that. Lovely stuff. So, yeah, mostly due to the fact that, hey, at the end of the day, we don't get that many of these being accepted. Senior Tomato was getting a lot of skins accepted. Things just align perfectly for it. Doesn't glow or anything. Doesn't matter. People want a hammer skin. They got one. And they are happy. So if we don't see any more hammer skins for a while, this will just slowly go up in price. But let me also point out, Senior Tomato, it just works out. We did get a garage door accepted after it. The hammer did appreciate that. It did go up. That went down. The sheet metal door went down. That rock was working out very nicely as well. Before we even saw the hammer, this was rising up in price. So people don't appreciate Senior Tomato Deployables, but they do appreciate tools and rocks. So, okay, cool. Very nice. Did you pick up any? I should have bought some. But because I was so focused with this, I forgot about buying them. That's one of my regrets this year, but I did kind of, walk away very happy with that, so I can't complain. Take what you get, right? Accept all the good things and just move on. Nuke Vibe, Sheet Metal Door. Yeah, it went down. Now, I should point out, we were seeing quite a lot of interesting skins being submitted. There's like a very cool collection being built up, but unfortunately, not all of them were being accepted. So I remind you, we did see the large box, and of course we did see the fridge, but wasn't accepted. Look cool. It was a very nice batch of skins, but again, just didn't work out. So, unfortunate. We only had a sheet metal door and a garage door, and both of them went down pretty bad. Negative 54 and negative 61. So, yep. That's not the best. It's not good. So, okay, fair enough. Let's just close that. Deep Ruby Rock. So, it appears that this is actually doing kind of all right. Is it actually evens? Yes, it is. So, how much did this sell by the end? Well, that did just under 12,000 subscribers. Not a ridiculous amount. And when you look at the actual collection itself, you'll notice that, not all of that's kind of perfect. It's a bit, And yeah, you would be correct. You clearly can notice it. But throughout the summer, Deep Ruby was kind of doing quite all right. This used to sit at around like $1.40, $1.30, but it did rise up quite nicely. We saw a lot more skins being accepted. For a collection that doesn't have a lot of people super thrilled to see it, it kept getting quite a lot of skins accepted. So, okay, the rock is currently evens. Not the worst performing skin, as you can clearly see. I bought quite a few of those, but no complaints. I suggested, what price? 80 cents to 1 to the 20. I went too low. You know, my 80 cents to 1 to the 20 barter would have been perfect for that. But not so much for that. I haven't picked up any. I haven't picked up any of my barders. So, by all means. Did you buy any straight from the store? Has it worked out? Have you picked up any of a barter? Feel free to comment below. But yeah, the 80 cent to 1 to the 20 barter, not good for this. But might have been a little bit too successful for this. So, yeah. Unfortunately, with the likes of this and this, I offered too little. So, And now, we approach the funerary backpack. And I've got to say, I honestly did not expect to see the hoodie and pants being accepted. Big surprise. Big surprise to me. We saw that being accepted. This went all the way up to about $5 at one point. And if I just quickly check right now, so if I click that, go to the Steam Market page, as you will see, oh dear, it's now $4. Because recently we also saw the Tier 2 being accepted. We also anticipate the version 2 of the Tier 3. Sorry about that. I was so stuck in trying to do the short video for this earlier, the Tier 3. Now my mind's just mush. Where is it? Where are you, Tier 3? Let me stare at you and frown at you. Anyway, with the acceptance of other skins, the backpack did work out quite nicely. So I played it too safe. I didn't offer a strong enough price, and I suffer because of it. I suffer because I missed out on sweet, delicious profit. What a shame. So, yeah, unfortunately, that happened 3 times in this rush store. So, not the best hedge, not the best. Now, I suggested 70 cents to 1 to the 10 for the boots, and I've got to be honest with you, these boots did work out quite nicely. Black Diamond boots, how did you fare in comparison to the rest of the set? So, the Black Diamond boots did just over 11,000 subscribers. Hoodie and pants, well, that did 26,000 subscribers each. Yeah, that was a bit of a strange one where it sold far too much compared to the rest, but because people liked the set, it still did alright. So the boots in comparison to Tier 2, well, that did about 18 to 20,000 subscribers, and the Tier 3 did 18 to 20,000 subscribers. The only thing we could do a good comparison with was with the gloves. The gloves did just under 11,000 subscribers. The boots basically paired out perfectly with the sales of the Black Diamond gloves. So whilst this sits here on the Steam Market at $6, the boots right now, they've only gone up to $2.10. They've only gained 60 cents. But I've got to tell you, still better than most, can't complain. It went up in price. There's only 34 listings. The collection is still in demand. The prices are good. Honestly, I can't complain. But my suggestion with the price, I mean, we'll see how it goes. Will this hold up as we go through October? Could we see more listings? Got to wait and see. As of now, I'm not upset with the price I suggested. But, wow. It's nice to see it worked out well. And, yeah. Could have guessed. But it does look good. So, yeah. Maybe I should have just gone and bought some. Why did I only buy the thing that went up to $30? Damn it. Anyway, final skin. Wasp AK-47. Part of the Insecta collection, but as you can see, it's not in demand. That was quite easy to notice, and unfortunately, yeah, it's selling for less than $1 on the Steam Market. It is selling for less than $1, so yeah. Bad timing, unfortunately, with its acceptance after the Twitch drops. I don't think people were that interested in the set either, so. I've still, I have seen other skins being submitted. I have seen other attempts, but yeah, it's just not in demand, and price hasn't really held up, so. Alright, it is what it is. So, overall, I got it wrong for some of these. Played it too safe again. I have to admit that. So when it came to the usual suspects with a Sheep in the Door, an AK-47, yeah, they went down as expected. But I did miss out on the rock, the backpack, the hammer. Should have offered more for the hammer. Haven't seen any hammer skins being accepted after, recently. So yeah, after this. So yeah, missed out. Played it too safe again. That Impact Protocol Savage Icepick, I felt like I got it right. I know you might sit and say, but you said $1 to 1 to the 50. Yeah, but I got to remind you, this was slow. This was slow to get to that point. So it was pretty easy to notice, yeah, that's not holding up. And with all these other skins being accepted, yeah, I'm stopping that buy order. So, yeah. I felt like I'm correct with that. Got to remind you, 31 of them were dumped on me at my $2.20 buy order. That worked out. You can't refute that. You can't dispute that. Haha. But since then, price has been going up and up and up. And as you can see, it's the most expensive SINOTYPE large box skin at the moment. Not a surprise, really. Oh, okay, 2 straggler listings have appeared, so now it's at $19 apparently. Barders are good. No big fat barders all the way up to like above $10, but we do see around here, yeah, right, well that's technically above $10. Damn it, Hedge. But if you could go lower, you'd see the vast majority of bulk barders are at like $3 now. So all of these have sprung up. Let's see if I can buy any more of my barders. I'd love to see it happen. Like, currently, to this day, I still get the occasional neon storage skin for super cheap. Does still happen? Yes, it does. So, yeah, maybe I'll see some of those for super cheap in about 5 years' time. We'll see. So, yeah, overall, pretty interesting rush store and sweet, delicious profits. Oh, yes, oh, yes, oh, yes. So, what's the sneak peek for the next week's store? So, if I could just quickly go back to the next week. July 17, 2025. What do we see? Well, of course, we see the sequel to the SINOTYPE. That's cool. We see the sequel to Funerary. That's interesting. We see the sequel to the fridge. We got the veggies fridge. So lots of interesting collection continuations that appeared the very next rush store. We also see the return of Heat Seeker. Heat Seeker Summer returns with an LR300, a transparent aim sight LR300. But do people like LR300s enough? Another Icepick appears. Okay, well, that immediately made me question the prototype. Another rock appears. Okay, that was pretty quick. Another pair of boots that waited a very long time to be accepted. This started a trend of seeing some very, very old boots finally being accepted and finishing its collection. So, chameleon boots sure cool. Another transparent locker? What? Oh no. Oh no. So yeah, that's it. That was the profit review. Things turned out pretty interesting. But those large boxes, I mean, that's got to be the best investment for this year. You can dispute that. What else have you made some sweet, delicious profit from this year? And yeah, comment below once again. Did you buy any of the skins here? Did it work out perfectly for you? And that's that. Let's now endure the Auto 4 seasonal dip, September, October, November. And let's see how high these prices could go as we reach January 2026. Remember, lots of very interesting updates on the horizon. And it then steers into the end of the year. People have time off. Plenty of time to play Rust, and when we see potentially another record-breaking amount of people playing Rust at the beginning of the year, I am expecting a lot of demand for skins and much better prices to sell at. Post-Christmas is the best time to sell your skins. I'm waiting in anticipation, so just going to enjoy the bad times again, but I know the perfect best time to sell skins just around the corner. So best of luck to you in your investments, and thank you very much for watching the video. Catch you later. See you, goodbye.